All right. What's up, gang? How we doing? Live here. Apparently there's a football game today. I don't know much about it. I haven't heard much about it. So I'm hoping you can fill me in here, Josh.
Dude, it's insane that you showed up wearing that without even realizing there was a game on today. That's insane.
This is just what I normally wear on Sundays. It's not really related to anything. Yeah, I was on Kyle's show and someone was like, "We get it. You're an Eagles fan. Like you don't have to. You don't like you can stop wearing stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, they're in the Super Bowl. Like if there was ever a time for me to wear my Eagles jerseys, it's the 2 weeks when they're in the Super Bowl. So you can kindly go screw yourself."
Who is watching football telling other fans to stop enjoying football? I don't understand that take.
Yeah,
That's a very
I guess
weird take.
it was technically on like his NBA streams, but still, it was like the Tuesday after they beat the Commanders in the NFC Championship. It's like I'm not going to apologize for 1 second for wearing an Eagles jersey. So
Zero. Happy Super Bowl to you, my man. I mean, you deserve it. Like, there's only a handful of people in the nation that get to feel this level of excitement once a year. They live in Kansas City and apparently mostly in Philadelphia. So enjoy that for sure.
3 out of the last 8 years in Philadelphia. So we'll see. Yeah.
How are you feeling? Can I ask about that? Like, so I'm a Giants fan. I had 2 Super Bowls in like 4 years. I was on cloud 9 for all 4 of those years. Every year was awesome in the NFL. And then I went into every game though being like, I don't care what happens because we're playing Tom Brady and maybe the best team ever twice. So like I just went in with house money and loved every second of it. And where are you at with that?
You bet the house on black 2 times and won both times.
Every time. Are you kidding me? Every time.
Yeah, there's 2 parts of my brain. There's like the NFL part of my brain that's, or like not the like the take 10,000 feet step back part of my brain that's like just bet on Patrick Mahomes. Like you would have won like 11 straight bets if you just bet on Patrick Mahomes to win in the playoffs, whatever that number is. And then there's like the Eagles fan that's like, well, we're going to win 100-0 and the game's going to be over in the first quarter. And then there's like the analytical football part of my brain that's like, you go position by position. The only place where the Chiefs are better is quarterback. And if you go by coaching staff, they're better at head coach. Defensive coordinator, I think, is probably a wash. So it's like, what's more important, the head coach and the quarterback, or having the better roster? Like the Eagles are better on the offensive and defensive line, better running back, better receivers, better secondary. Chiefs probably have better linebackers, but that's like the least important position. So I don't know. I mean, it's very similar to when the Eagles played the Patriots when they were like the better team, but Patriots had Tom Brady. And Eagles won that game. They lost last time to the Chiefs, but this Eagles defense is way better. So yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously nervous. I would much rather hope they played the Bills.
Yeah, obviously.
That
would make it a lot easier.
Because I could stomach that loss to the Bills. Right. Losing to the Chiefs again is going to be tough.
It's painful. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. I mean, I'm not betting against Mahomes. I'll put it that way as well. So I'm with you. Like, are you at least able to enjoy the game?
No.
Right? Like, okay, got it, cool. That's where I just wanted to know if that's where we were at. That's the main question that I was wondering here.
No, there's not a single second of enjoyment. And I got to bring this up. This is the dumbest stat I've ever heard in my entire life. Fangio,
no offense
to Paul. It's a correct stat, but it's intellectually dishonest. Pat Mahomes scored under his average in 7 of 8 games against Vic Fangio. You want to know how the average that the offense for Vic Fangio scored? It was like 12 points. It's like quite literally the dumbest thing in the world. People are bringing that up like, well, he's 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes. Like, you know, Patrick Mahomes, like, has he lost 8 games in his career? Like, every coach is going to have bad stats. You know what I mean? It's like the only teams.
Well, he was the D coordinator for the Broncos Denver. When they were piss poor for that's 4 games right there, right? Or the head coach.
It's not.
Oh, this
yeah,
is
not
just
6
D
of them.
Coordinator. So this wasn't even when he was the head coach. This is just D coordinator.
No, this is head coach and defensive coordinator.
Okay, yeah. So some of those are going to be when he's head coach of the Broncos. Like they're horrible.
Yeah, it's like, right? He couldn't beat them when Brock Osweiler was his quarterback. Oh, like that's crazy. Yeah.
Right.
Some Eagles writer I follow, just like totally, like just went in on that. People being like actual NFL analysts trying to use that as like a reason to pick the Chiefs. And it's like, I mean, some of the notes, the Broncos offense or the Vic Fangio offense in these games, 6 points, 3 points, 16, 9, 24, 14, and 7. So yeah, if the Eagles score 14 points, then yeah, they're going to lose. That I will grant you that, Paulie P. Anyways, it's probably enough time for us filibustering.
No, I love Paul doubling down.
I mean, if he's right, if the Eagle, but that's not going to be on Vic Fangio. Like if I remember getting so frustrated back in the Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl when the Bucks just beat the crap out of them. One of my friends was like, "Well, of course Brady was going to win." It's like, you understand that the Chiefs didn't score an offensive touchdown. Like, are we giving that to Brady out of it? It's like some of the reductive analysis just drives me absolute crazy.
And it's the best because it's one game, man. So we're always going to have reductive analysis down to one game at a time. Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. Do you use any like of the last Super Bowl matchup stats to make your bets in this game at all? Like, are you using that?
A little bit. I mean, it doesn't really. The Chiefs' offense against the Eagles' defense is like almost irrelevant because this Chiefs' offense is way worse and this Eagles' defense is way better. Like the Eagles' defense this year is number 1 in DVOA. They're the number 1 scoring defense if you take away like special teams and touchdowns, like the non-offense scored against them. And the Eagles' defense that year like got pantsed by good quarterbacks. Like they had a really easy schedule, so their stats made them look a lot better than they were. This Eagles defense is so much better. I think the Eagles offense is a little bit comparable, but I also think the Eagles offense is way worse. So like they almost cancel each other out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Eagles offense was as good as they were 2 years ago with the defense that's as good as this year. Then
they didn't have Saquon. Obviously, that's a part of it. They were playing better going on offense going into that Super Bowl as well, right? So momentum matters a ton. I think once you get into the playoffs, it's a different season, and once you pick up the 3 wins it takes to get there, you're feeling pretty good at that point. So,
yeah. And the way the Chiefs play defense, like the super aggressive blitzing, is what gives the Eagles trouble. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is much more defensive. Like, I think people are just looking at the last Super Bowl, saw that it was like 34, 31 or whatever the final score was, and are like, oh, this is going to be another offensive explosion. And I could kind of see the opposite. I could see both. I could see it being more similar to last year's Super Bowl between the Chiefs and 49ers, where it it wasn't until the second half where the offenses got going.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, this is reductive analysis that I will actually agree with. It could just come down to this. It could just come down to having Mahomes, Reed, and Spags.
Right.
Like that could matter. The 0-8 thing just missed me with that. But the Mahomes and Reed angle, that is legit.
Love it. Love it. Oh man. So I know we have how many bets do you have down on your card?
6.
Yeah. I'm looking at a few different players, but also totaling 6 as of right now. Only 3 different players that I have bets on, and a few that I might just go ahead and put down, like actually just bet here while we're on the show, to be honest. Talking to you about it. So
it's like 4.5 units risk. There's like a couple like dart throws that I don't have a full unit on.
Yeah, I'm going in anything that's like minus 130 or 40. I'm taking and just putting enough to get a full unit back on, and then a bunch of plus money plays as well. But I'm down to get weird, man. Honestly, I am down to get a little bit weird. It's
a Super Bowl. I mean, if there's ever a time.
Exactly.
All right. Well, yeah. I feel like we gave enough people. People always say that I type super loud. I guess because my mic is like right next to my keyboard. It comes away like I'm like
right.
Like evil professor is a good way to describe it.
Plus there's like there's heavy keyboard hitters. You know, heavy hitters on the keyboard.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a heavy keyboard hitter for sure. All right, well, let's get into it. So let's just go prop by prop. So like passing, rushing, receiving, I figure is the easiest way to do that. And then we'll do touchdown as well. You can let me know if it's an official bet, a lean, just general thoughts. Doesn't need to be like only what you're betting. So yeah, any passing prop could be any passing regardless.
I don't even have a passing prop, to be honest with you. I have all rushing. I've got some team stuff and some receiving, but didn't take anything on either side of the passing. Where are you at with that?
I would lean towards Hurts over, honestly. Like I think.
Do you have an official passing play as well, like a prop for a passing?
No, nothing official. No.
Yeah, it's not my favorite in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would lean towards Hurts over passing yards because if the Chiefs play this similar to what the Commanders did, obviously just better. Like they're not going to be as bad as the Eagles aren't going to score 55 points, but they were like. Saquon's not going to beat us, even though Saquon ripped off that 60-yard run. He didn't have 60 yards combined outside of that. I think he ended with like 100 something.
117, yeah.
Yeah, so exactly. He got over half of his yards on that one play. And Hurts was awesome. Like if they have that type of game plan, Hurts can go over. But yeah, I don't have an official one.
Yeah.
And yeah, like completion, like all this stuff. I mean, honestly, Mahomes' longest completion under, I don't hate. I feel like it's kind of like this misnomer that hurt like this, like just this bombs away Chiefs offense. But they're like among the lowest ADOT. The Eagles defense is also like the Chiefs offense plays the way the Eagles defense wants teams to play. So it's almost like good on good. Like the Eagles don't give up anything deep. They keep everything in front of them, and the Chiefs are more than happy to play that way. So I think under completion for Mahomes isn't a bad look, but yeah, I didn't bet it. All right, we can go on. Rushing.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to give you, I'm going to give you my bet first and then go into the lean and see if we can get there with it. But my first rushing prop that I'll give out here, well, I have like 3. So let me give out the first one that I like the most. I took Hurts over 8.5 rush attempts. I would play that at 9.5 or plus money, but I'm in this situation where it's rushing attempts, anything like attempts. I'd rather just take the lower number and drink the juice and then just pay a little bit more for it. I would hate to get hooked on 9 rushing attempts, essentially. So yeah, I took over 8.5. I think he looked a lot better against Washington, looking a lot healthier, rested up the knee, had another couple of weeks. So I think when you sell out on Saquon, like I would be going. That's the other one we'll talk about with Saquon's rushing, but they're going to sell out. There's just no way around it. And Hurts has really shown a propensity to not even throw the ball away, just run for a yard and slide down. He's had a ton of rushing attempts in the playoffs at this point, as opposed to just 23 passing attempts per game in his 8 career playoff games. So he's just takes off when it's not there. And like this KC defense, this zone is going to be super sticky. There's not going to be easy throwing lanes. I think the way that this is going to be played out is Hurts is going to have his 2 best options are either going to be, I don't know if it's going to be AJ Brown on the outside. I actually think it's going to be Devontae Smith, but somebody on the outside in the numbers, one of those 2, and I lean Devontae, and then Goddard over the middle after those linebackers are trying to focus on Saquon. He can run right behind them for 10, 12 yards and just kind of sit right there and catch that like 5 times for 50, 60 yards. So I think he's going to have that available to him, but he's going to run when he doesn't have to. Like I said, 23 pass attempts a game. That's good. He had 15 attempts in the Super Bowl versus them. He had 11 in the NFC Championship game to get there. He had 10 last week against Washington, averaging a ton more rush attempts in the playoffs in general. We're going to get the tush push. We're going to get the kneel down perhaps as well. I don't know if we'll get a couple of deals, but we will get a couple extra, I think, a little dinky rush attempts for him based on that. And then a few, not even necessarily design runs. I think he'll just get flushed out because that Chiefs defense is really going to bring pressure up the middle as opposed to the outside. And that's going to be where he's going to have to be forced out. So love the attempts. Don't mind the yards, but I just think the attempts are something very reliable.
Yeah, the attempts makes a ton of sense because it's QB draw, it's QB sneak, it's kneel down, it's scramble. There's like a ton of options for him to do that. And like it's a Super Bowl, they're not going to be shy for what's not the wrong one. They're not going to be shy for 1 second to run Jalen Hurts. So I think that's solid. I don't hate like you said you took over 8.5.
Yeah, I took it for -130 for a unit and a half basically.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It looks like it's -156 now. At this, like, I also don't hate just going to 10. Obviously, this is like different than like a yard ladder play where it needs to be like a separate attempt. But I don't hate this either. And like, what if it's a kneel at the end of the half? You know what I mean? It's like it's not just a kneel at the end of the. They don't have to win to get the kneel. So yeah, I don't hate that. I like his rushing yards over as well. The attempts, I do agree, it's an awesome look. But I mean, he was awesome last year running in the Super. Where's rushing yards? There's so many damn stats.
No, it's gonna be alphabetical.
So is it?
You're right, and then right there,
yeah. So he hit it last year, or no, he didn't. I guess I was wrong. He scored twice last year. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Did he originally have his yardage lower than that, or was it always that high?
29. Yeah, that I don't know.
No, I mean the 30 because maybe you were looking at either way. I thought he knew he had 29 in the last one, but.
Yeah, he definitely went over this number in the Super Bowl. But either way, yeah, I agree with you. I like the rushing for Hurts. I like the attempts. Super square. I went Saquon. I admittedly got a horrible number on this. I took 125 plus. It's now plus 152. And this is the best price. This is FanDuel's giving you the best price. I don't know, man. Like Saquon would have hit last week if the game was close in the fourth quarter. Like Will Shipley had a 60-yard run. He would have hit in this game against the Packers if the game was close, but he slid down when he could have ran for 60 more yards. The Chiefs defense got kind of lit up the last 2 weeks by running backs like Joe Mixon and James Cook. I get that. Like you can make the argument, especially last week, that, well, that's what the Chiefs wanted them to do. They were like, we're not going to let Josh Allen beat us. We're fine if it's James Cook. Obviously the Chiefs aren't going to play that way against the Eagles. It's going to be the opposite. They're going to say, but And the Chiefs' run defense is good. I get it. The areas in which they've been weak is like kind of stuff to the outside, and that's how the Eagles scored their first touchdown. So I know a lot of people that are like quote unquote like sharps are pushing this number down because like the plus EV bettors are like, well, this is just too high, and like that type of logic. And like, but I don't know, man. It's Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. There's no way they're going to abandon him. Unless it's like Chiefs get the ball first, touchdown. Eagles punt. Chiefs get the ball back, touchdown. That's just not something I see happening. So yeah, Saquon Barkley 125 plus. I got a way worse price. I got like plus 120 something. It's obviously now I got plus 125. It's obviously now plus 152. It's a way better price, but I'm still taking Saquon. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is alt line, right? You took the 125 for plus 152.
Yeah,
right?
The main line is 109 and a half.
109 and a half. Yeah. It's whatever, like go for it. In terms of the difference between those two, I mean, I would, you're not hitting the 109 and a half at all. You just went straight to the 125.
Correct. Correct. Okay. For a unit. Yeah.
For a full unit. Love it. All right, great. Yeah. It's a Super Bowl, baby. No, you've got to, the thing here is going to be like, it's tough once you create a game theory, you can't necessarily go too much against it with other props as well. So if you believe in Saquon dominating the game, then I think you have to play a lot of stuff off of that as well. Not anything can happen. I mean, it's just you create these sort of like smaller margins for error if you take like Saquon over rushing and you start throwing like Hurts over passing and stuff like that out there. So this kind of helps dictate like what we're doing here. I'm talking about Hurts rushing attempts. I don't know that I'll be going over on his yards necessarily for passing and that kind of thing. So I have to figure it out. I would be leaning to the under on the 113 and a half for Saquon. Just reason being, like, I'm with your logic for him having so many more opportunities last week. This comes back into like the sort of, what would you call it? Like I guess what came first, essentially, right? Chicken or the egg, you call it. But it would basically be like, what's impacting the other thing? What's the driving force? Is it that, right? Like is for Saquon's yards, did they dominate last week and he didn't need to get more yards because he dominated? In which case, if he doesn't dominate this week, then yeah, he'll have more opportunity to get yards, but he won't be at the 100 yards to get there. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a really tough situation to navigate, but I actually lean to the under strictly because I don't think this is going to be a very high scoring game. I don't think there's going to be super elongated drives. We might see these teams punt a little bit more than we're used to. They're both super capable of getting off on third down. And that's really what I keep like coming back to, that makes me scared of like too many monster overs, is I just don't know how many monster drives there are going to be. So the lean that I had for Saquon was under on the rushing yards. I wanted to see where you were at with it. And I'm certainly not going to go against it because that sounds really boring. And 125 rushing yards from Saquon sounds fucking awesome. So I hope that happens.
Yeah, I saw someone bet like under 30 points for each team. It's like, that might be a good bet, but man, it's the freaking Super Bowl. And it was like minus 140. I was like, what are we doing here?
You know what, though? I'm starting to think like, if the Super Bowl is boring, then maybe I should just bet on it to be boring. And if it's fun, I lose my bets, but I enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm starting to hedge my emotions with it almost. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair. Emotional hedge. I get it. All right. Receiving props. Yeah, I know you kind of hinted towards one, but you like Devontae.
Yeah, I went in on Devontae in this game. I got him 49 and a half receiving yards to the over. I didn't even bother laddering him. The way that I played Devontae was he's got 109 yards to overtake De'Ami Brown for the top receiver in the playoffs, most receiving yards. So I took him over 49 and a half receiving yards. I took him for a half a unit at plus 600 for him to lead the game in receiving yards. And then I took him for a little dart throw 0.2 units to get the leading playoff receiver, right? Leading receiving yards in the playoffs. And that is plus, well, now I think it's actually down to 2,500, but it was plus 30, basically plus 3,000. So 30 to 1 there for him to lead it. Getting 109 yards, Dallas Goedert has to get under 43 yards. If he gets 43.
Okay, so that's what it is. It's you're basically betting on, you're parlaying him getting 109 and Goddard under, would you say under 43 and a half?
I'm probably going to actually hedge by going over on Goddard receiving yards. Because
that makes sense.
If he gets the receiving yards, then he's the leader. But it's minus 190 for him to lead the playoffs in receiving because he only needs 43 yards to overtake De'Ami Brown. But then at that point, if he gets 43, now we need 110 from Devontae. So you see how it works. So I'm just going to take a flyer on Goddard over on his receiving yards as well. I believe it's up to 49 and a half. And I originally got that at 45.5, but I would still take this as a hedge of that bet. But I'm betting on both those guys in this one. I think Trent McDuffie's going to just, they're going to have all their focus on AJ Brown in this one. So love the look here for Devontae to go off. The other thing about Devontae too, just to be super clear, he's very, very good against Spags defenses. He's been very, very good against him in what we've got here. We got 2 regular season games. He caught 6.5 balls in between those two on 9 targets per game, 110 yards per game in those 2 regular season matchups. He went for 7 on 9 targets for 100 yards in the Super Bowl, as we'll remember last time. And that's kind of what I'm looking at again, as we saw Spags dare him to go deep outside the numbers. And Devontae Smith was the guy with a lot more room to work with throughout that game than AJ Brown. And that's what I'm going back to. Also, just actually really, really good zone beater as well. Like about 85th percentile in terms of his PFF grade for the beating zone there. So that's just another great weapon for them.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's especially if they put him in the slot, that's like kind of where the Chiefs defense has been weak a little bit, is in the slot position. We haven't seen that a ton, but I mean, it's a Super Bowl, so like who knows what you're
I mean, he's been shut down the last couple because we watched Saquon just dominate with 32 carries a game or whatever he's getting. So to be fair to him, it's been a lot of Goddard and Saquon, and I'm gonna put some flyers on him for this one. But then like I said, a little hedge with Goddard overs in case he's the one who does it.
Yeah, well, that leads me to a play that I have, which is Goddard overs.
Yeah.
I took him 50 plus. I got a decent. This is one where I did get positive CLV. This is honestly not a CLV day for me. Majority of my plays actually got negative, so who knows what that means. But I took Goddard 50 plus. I'd still take it at -104, this is the best offer price, is this -104 number. He's been awesome in the playoffs. The only game he missed was this game. Hurts had like less than 150 passing yards in this game. It was like an absolutely disgusting Eagles offensive game. And he was the only one that really did anything. I mean, that's why he's the leader, like minus whatever you said, to lead the playoffs in receiving, because he's been awesome. These 2 playoff games, obviously the Eagles won 85 the last game against the Commanders. In the Chiefs defense, I've mentioned this all year, 32nd in receiving yards allowed to the tight end position. And there was a stretch in the middle of the year when their defense was banged up. Like they were missing. I always forget this guy's name. I think it's Jalen Watson, who we talked about two weeks ago.
Exactly.
He was out for the majority.
Justin.
Yeah, he was out for the majority of the second half of the year. And that's when you started to see the Chiefs give up a little bit more to the wide receiver position. He's back, and it's kind of flipped back the other way. Obviously, it didn't work with Kincaid last week, although if he could catch the ball, it would have worked. Granted, that was like that was a prayer. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
But there was Schultz.
I'm sorry, he should have caught that.
He should have. But like, even if that had worked, it wouldn't have been like, oh, what a sharp play. Like I had this read so good. It was like a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a lucky catch. But anyways, the week before, Dalton Schultz, literally the first passing play of the game, he went over against the Chiefs. Goddard's been awesome. They use him like finally in like a creative ways, screen passes, RPOs, sometimes just like normal pass plays. He just needs 50 yards, 2 or 3 games. He's done it in the playoffs. And again, one game he missed, he got incredibly close. And that was a game where the Eagles offense couldn't do anything. Just an incredibly disgusting offensive performance. So I went Goddard. So I guess you hedged his under or his over. Yeah.
Yep. With the over, I took 44.5, but I'm also played 49.5 with you too. Honestly, looking for, I like Goddard a lot in this game, as I keep thinking about how much I do think they're going to sell out on Saquon. I mean, not saying that he can't get his. I think the Goddard space is just going to be massive. That's why tight ends, to a degree, also, right? They just bring everybody up the middle. There's such a middle funnel for the pressure that KC brings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Do you have any other receiving prop?
Yeah. So as far, we're still doing receiving. Yeah, because I had a rushing too that I wanted to go over, but let me.
Oh, my bad. I thought you.
I just didn't make sure we didn't move past it. Yeah. No, the other rushing one that I wanted to put out there, and this is one that I haven't bet yet, and it's actually like fluctuated a bunch. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on there. Is Chiefs team rushing under 109.5 total rushing yards for the Chefs. That was minus 110 on
I don't think that's on outlet.
I don't think they're going to throw down outlier. And that was some of the annoying stuff with some of these props, is like I'd give it out, and then like there's like 12 states that on DraftKings don't have this sort of game prop. So it looks like there's some difference between states. Yeah, like 4 people in Connecticut were complaining about it. Someone in Virginia was like, I can't see this on DraftKings or whatever. So are you in Virginia right now?
I'm in Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to see, whatever. I hope you can see it, but either way,
That's what I'm
109
checking. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can see it, that's great. I got it in on DK and was like trying to show people where to get it. But look, they went under 100 yards as a team in 5 of their last 8 regular season games. Pacheco's fallen completely off. I don't know how much we're going to see him in here. I was loving some unders for him, but they got really low and priced that stuff in. Kareem Hunt at about 3.4 yards per carry over his last 5. I don't like the way that they're going to go up against the Eagles with probably relying on Mahomes to get like 35, 40 yards out of this based on the way they have this priced and based on what his individual rushing prop is. But they've held every QB except for Jaden Daniels because you don't stop him from running and Lamar, but everybody else they've kept to under 30 yards rushing. So I don't think you're going to get any help from him there. But we are going to see them, I think, have a lot of success on the interior as well, limiting the rushing with Carter and Jordan Davis down there to negate that interior offensive line. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be there for them as a whole.
I totally agree. I think that's an awesome bet. Just fading basically the team in general. I mean, they just haven't been able to run the ball at all. Eagles run defense is very good. I think honestly, like after the first quarter, unless the game's out of hand, I just don't even think the Chiefs are going to bother running it anymore. Honestly, it's kind of how I feel.
Yep. Classic Andy Reid going back to the dink and dunk that he's always loved so much.
Yeah, it's like an extension of the run game. It passes around the line of scrimmage. He's always said that.
Now I'm starting to think I should really be betting on Samaje Perine. Like it's probably a pretty low receiving yards prop.
Real quick to answer the question, we're using Outlier. Right. Josh and I both use Outlier.
Yeah.
Outlier.bet. We both have links, so go to his channel to find his. Go to my channel to find mine. Either way, so it's all good. So you said Samaje Perine. Yeah, I don't know about you, but these playoffs have not been good for me from a betting perspective.
I am a couple units down as well.
Yeah, which is like, if that's my punishment is the Eagles going to the Super Bowl and I have it is what it is. One of the rare bets that I did win was Samaje Perine's receiving yards on literally the last play of the game against the Bills. It was, I think it was his only target. Yeah, it was the last play of the game.
So annoying. So annoying. It tanked my Mahomes under Russian pass and rush. Yeah, that one play tanked it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is brutal. Awesome.
Yeah,
that is brutal. This is a 17-yard play. Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's their passing yardage back. 16 of 19 games. This is one of those ones where it's like you're hoping for one play. Like you're going to watch 95% of this game, unless it happens early, which is possible. Yeah. You're going to watch 90% of this game, and just like, please God, just get him on the field.
Yeah. What's the number? Is it still 7.5?
7.5 minus 105.
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it leads into that. So
that's pretty good. I don't hate that at all.
And once they stop pretending like they're going to run, then he's just going to be on the field the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. And like the one difference I think from last Super Bowl is the Chiefs ran all over him. Pacheco had an awesome game in last year's Super Bowl. They ran. I was like, everybody was expecting Reid to just have a classic Andy Reid and just pass the ball, and he said no. He ran the ball down the throat. I just don't see that happening again. So I like it. Yeah, I like it, and it is one that can happen in one play, which is what's happened before. I don't hate that. I took, and this is another one that I got horrible CLV on. I took Kelsey. I took 70 plus receiving yards. I did not get plus 152, which is the current price. Yeah. If I'm betting this right now, I honestly think that the better look is his receptions over 6.5 it was plus 140. So that did go down a little bit. But even at plus 122 for 6.5 receptions. Because like the Eagles defense, and who knows if it's going to be the same thing that we saw last 2 weeks ago, last game against the Commanders. But Zach Ertz lit him up. I mean, he had like over 10 receptions. He had over 100 yards. I think you were on Ertz, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he catched like
I should have laddered him and parlayed him with Goddard, and I just got conservative. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. But if the Eagles have any sort of similar game plan, and what their defense is like, don't get beat deep, keep everything in front of you, and just rally and tackle. And Mahomes is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine to take those short passes. And who's like one of the best players in NFL history at finding space. That would be Mr. Travis Kelsey. So maybe they have like a special defense designed for him where they bracket. Sometimes that stuff doesn't matter. And you just wonder how he ends up wide open. It's because him and Mahomes have a mind meld. So I officially bet the 70 plus, and I'm not going to double down. But if I was betting this right now, I actually think I actually like the over 6.5 or plus 122 better, to be honest with you. This was like even money when I bet the 70 plus. So like the Kelsey odds. This is another thing where like someone that I know that works for like a like an EV betting company was like, everybody's on Kelsey and Goddard unders because they've just been steamed up too high. That's like where the quote unquote sharp money is, which is why the odds have moved so much against me, at least for Kelsey. Goddard, not so much. But do you have any thoughts on Kelsey? Did you look at him? Any leans, any bets?
I didn't bet on him at all in this one, but that is where I'd be going. I kind of targeted I targeted Nuke on his Hopkins on his receptions, but it was kind of going back and forth between Kelsey and a little bit more on Hollywood as well. But then I just ended up going with the with the look there for Nuke for over 1.5 receptions is what I took him on. I think he gets the yards too, but I like the 2 receptions. He's still at about 53% route participation since Hollywood's gotten back, but that's tanked his numbers in those last 2 games. So it hasn't obviously been there quite as much. The targets, if you look at the targets in the last 2 games too, real quick. Just 2 in the last one. So and the one against Houston as well. Obviously, then Philly came back. But yeah, if you like Hollywood Brown in this one, then I don't like Nuke as much, to be honest. But I'm going with him on it, and I feel like it's also a little bit more of him and Kelsey, not necessarily being in the exact same spots, but kind of running similar routes of zone beating, like run and turn around essentially, and just stand there and be bigger than everybody and box them out for a high throw that's coming your way. So that's why I like Nuke. My thoughts on Kelsey are like, everything's so high. If you want to lean in and just buy into Kelsey, then just be like, this is going to be a monster game for Kelsey and go for it. I instead of projecting that, I kind of went almost like a scaredy cat route here and just took a really low number and played the number as low as it is, basically.
And that is super low. And I understand why. It's like his routes are down and everything. But even if you look at games with Hollywood, it's what, 2 of 4. So the targets are obviously the scary part, 4, and then 1 and 2. Yeah, who knows?
I feel fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Because he's getting high catch rate targets too. He's not getting much down the field. All right. So I have Kelsey and Goddard. You have Hopkins and
I got Nuke on the receptions
and Devontae.
And Devontae, and I've got Goddard as well at this point, and that's honestly mostly like a hedge of
which makes total sense.
Stuff. Yeah, so that's what I made sure to tell people too, is like I'm taking Goddard because of this. Like I do like him obviously, and I like his matchup. I just also am mostly taking him because I'm playing so much Devontae Smith. So
yeah, I gotcha. Cool. All right. Anything else leans that you had for receiving specific? If not, we can get to some questions people had.
Yeah, let's get to the questions. I did put Samaje Perine in. I just realized I was already like leaning into that with him. Like you already saw the hit rate for him. It's mostly game script is what I'm playing with Samaje. Not necessarily like, the Eagles are going to shut down every receiver on the Chefs. More, and I'm not even sure that the Eagles will play rush the quarterback nearly as much as like I think they're going to send 4 basically. I don't think they're going to be blitzing too often. Which is going to be a reason why I actually don't love Mahomes' rushing yards on this. I think they'll have him spied pretty well, so they avoid those like random 29-yard pickups that he has while his receivers are all the way downfield. So with all of that in mind, like we're saying, I think it's be close at the end. They're going to be throwing a lot, and that's going to be Samaje Perine's job. He's getting thrown to on like I don't remember what it was, but he runs like 12 routes a game, and he's out there for like 15 plays a game. So he's out there to get his routes in, and that's why I like the receiving. Yeah,
I guess you can't find that out on like route participation or like percentage of targets per route run. Yeah,
right.
I'm guessing that's high. Yeah. Well, in case you're wondering. And according to Ronnie, if you have a bad day, that means you always are going to be bad, especially if it's a different sport. So just let you know. But
did Ronnie just come in here to tell us that?
Yeah. No, he's actually
Roddy, why are you here?
Well, no, Ronnie, this is fine. Show it, send the slips. Take the opposite of every single bet we take. Send the slips and then let us know how much money you make. That's what I got that from Slop. Whenever people tell me they're fading me, I say like that's awesome. Send me the slip. Put your money where your mouth is.
I mean, here's the thing. Coming on to say that you're fading Modi is like, okay, I guess that's a decent use of your time. Coming on here to say you suck without, it's like throwing stones in a glass house. Who are you, Ronnie?
I also made money on basketball yesterday.
What's that?
I made money. I was literally up on basketball yesterday.
Ronnie lost money, and he's coming here because he's upset.
He took the 2 losers probably.
Damn, that sucks. It takes a big man to come in here and do that though, Ronnie. Big shout out to you, bud. You're tough homie for sure. But would love to see your slips, my guy. Would love to see your slips too when you get a sec, since we don't know who you are. But I think we probably spent enough time on Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie, I'd be happy to. Yesterday I took 6 NBA plays. We'll just go ahead and we'll go ahead and share my sheet because that's what Ronnie wants. That's what we'll do.
All right, Ronnie.
Let's see. We're going to go. All right. How do I
I'm gonna use
change my
another
screen?
banana while we own Ronnie for a minute.
Share this tab instead. So Ronnie, this is my NBA betting sheet that you see. This is actually my every sport betting sheet that you see right here. Josh Hart didn't get to the rebounds. That hurt. DeMar assists. That hit. The ladder for DeMar did not hit. So we lost a half unit on DeMar. We cashed out both Curry and AD right before AD got hurt. That was great. Jalen Wells, I don't even think he took 2 shots. So that was tough. That was a loss. Obi Toppin scored 11 points earlier in the third quarter. That was a win. So yeah, Ronnie, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyways, if you're happy to fade us, just put your money where your mouth is and send us the slips.
Yeah, would love to see it.
That's all I want. Anyways, thanks for watching, Ronnie. Make sure to like the video, comment. You're really helping us out here with your engagement.
Thank you for the engagement, Ronald.
Yeah, that's also another thing that I say. I'm like, thanks for watching and commenting. I really appreciate it. Anyways,
oh yeah.
All right. We talked about, so you're taking Samaje. Did you look at age? I'm guessing, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing because you're on Devontae and Goddard, you didn't have anything for AJ.
That is precisely correct. Yeah, I do think, and I was just saying that. I think Tim Evans? Somebody Tim Evans. I just added you in the chat too because you were asking about that. And my thing with AJ, and what's up, Andre? I love having Andre in here too. My thing with AJ is going to be Trent McDuffie, and then just having multiple eyes on him as he tries to run those routes outside the numbers. And like I said, I don't think Hurts. I also took Hurts under an interception this morning before we got on the show. Minus 135, put 1.4 units on it. Should have mentioned that for the passing. I guess that is a passing prop. My bad. But so it kind of is a little bit related though to the AJ stuff because he's not going to force it out there to AJ. So I don't think that AJ is going to see as many targets because I don't think he wants to force it into either double coverage or having Trent McDuffie draped all over him. I also think Trent McDuffie would take a pass interference call before he let AJ Brown get like a 40-yard reception on the sideline. So I just don't like that stuff for him today, which is another reason why I did like the other guys with better matchups for them.
Couple things. Number one, AJ Brown had a 40-yard touchdown over McDuffie in the Super Bowl. Probably not going to happen again. Hurts has thrown 1 interception since after week 3. Thrown 1. It was in the red zone against the Cowboys. Totally good. Totally fair to take the under interceptions on Hurts. Honestly, if you want to take under on both, because Mahomes has barely thrown an interception too. I think he's thrown, but that's not what I want to do. Yeah, he's thrown, he threw 2 against the Bills. I guess it was kind of similar to Hurts, just more aggressive. But yeah, I mean, since this Bills game, with whatever this is, 7-8 straight games without a,
same with Hurts. Hurts hasn't had what's the first game of the season.
It's
at Dallas. Or I'm sorry, first game in November at Dallas.
Yeah, no, that's I think that's good. AJ Brown. The thing with AJ Brown is the Chiefs run a lot of man, and AJ Brown is a man. I hate saying this, the phrasing of it. He's good at beating man coverage. He's not a man beater. He's good at beating man coverage. But who knows if the Chiefs are going to do that? Like the Chiefs, they also play it sometimes. They switch up their game plan game to game. So, we just good timing for Michael. We just talked about no interception for Mahomes.
I love this comment so much. If Isaiah Collier played slot, I'd bet the over. I'd bet Isaiah Collier 10. Bro, I would bet him in water polo. Yeah, whatever Isaiah Collier's doing, I got him over on 4.5 water polo shots or whatever. Like this dude, I'm probably going to continue to have a Utah Jazz hat on my head in the thumbnail of my episodes on YouTube because this team is just cash cowing. Like they're going to send my kid to college at this point with how many bets they're winning between Collier, who, yes, my middle child's name will probably be Collier at this point. Everything else is going to be like, maybe we call her Isaiah Collier Kessler Collins or something. John Collins has also been a wagon. Just get all of them there, man. Yeah, love this. For sure. I didn't take him yesterday. I didn't see what he did, but I didn't get to the Utah game last night either way.
He had 9 assists. I almost took him double. I'm glad I didn't.
Such a maniac. So
all right. Saquon receiving yards.
I didn't have anything on that. I didn't even look into the rush receiving. We're like, it was the insane number once again that scared me. So where are you at with the receiving?
I've taken Saquon receiving yards too many times, and I've never cashed it. And I took it this week. Didn't cash. I didn't take it this week, and obviously it did. I took it another week where I think he had 9. It was like one of these, this game right here where he had 10. Oh, yeah. He should be used more in the passing game, but he's not. And it is very frustrating as an Eagles fan that he's awesome in space. Sometimes you're not always able to do that again in the run. Do it in the air. The Chiefs have been really good at running back receiving props, 5th fewest. Granted, they've been good against rushing, and I took him on the ground. But if you want to take Saquon receiving, I would just combine rushing and receiving at this point. Like I made that mistake too many times, trying to galaxy brain, not taking Saquon rushing, and I'm just not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
My boy Crank.
Yeah, I didn't have anything on it. D-Hop. All right. I got
one
Crank.
reception in the first quarter. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he only needs 2 for the game at plus 125. It's probably a good bet. I think that would probably tell you it's not worth it.
That's a good point.
If he's got plus 125 for 2 over 4 quarters, then for him to get 1 in 1 quarter should basically be like double that.
It should be like plus 300.
So it is. It's close. Yeah, it's probably close to the right value as I'm thinking about it. Right, because if it's plus 125 over 4 quarters, then in 1 quarter you should actually be multiplying that by 4.
Yeah.
No, you actually do cut it in half because it needs 2. So you do cut it in half. So this is actually the right number. All right, it's about plus 250 is the right number.
In a quarter of the time, yeah.
Right, exactly. Half the bet in a quarter of the time would be the right number. So yeah, that would be the same play. Maybe just do it every quarter. Just do D-Hop 1 reception
we'll get
each quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
And you'll if you get a good number on it, but yeah.
If he gets 2, yeah, and hope that it's not in the same quarter.
Yeah. I do actually want to bet on potentially a cross sport bet, which was because Mike was saying like anything with no edge with cross sport. Yeah. My bad. You pulled up.
We keep doing this. Yeah, no, you're good.
So the one that I was looking at, and I don't know what it is now. There was a Tyrese Maxey minus 3.5 total points versus the Eagles total points. Any thoughts on that? Now, Giannis is out, I believe. He's out till past the All-Star break.
Yeah, he is.
Right, in that Bucks and 76ers matchup. I believe Joel is going.
He's questionable. Game. I think he's going to play.
He probably is going to play, but now Giannis is out. Who knows? Either way, if Embiid is out, Maxey's going for 30. If Embiid is in, I still think Maxey's going for like 26 at least. The Eagles over-under is at 24.5. Which is about what Maxey's totals should be at, to be honest, as well. But I think I'm still taking it for minus 3.5 because I think he's going for 30, and I think this game is going to be in the 20s for both these squads. Like, I don't know if this gets to 50, essentially, in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it's basically a way to take a little bit of, Jesus, Sandy, I wonder if this is Ronnie's burner. Anyways. So you're basically saying, like, it's like a way to take Maxey at a little bit lower because his over-under is 29.5 Maxey's points. So you think if you think the Eagles are going to score 24, it's like a way to take Maxey at relatively even odds just for a couple points lower. Is that your logic?
Basically, yeah, essentially. And I'm basically waiting for the news that Joel's not playing, essentially, or Paul George. But
yeah, I mean, who knows who's playing?
Yeah,
in that team. Yeah, I mean, I personally would rather just take the Maxey over. I don't necessarily because you're like, I don't necessarily know if it's worth it to do to try to get that cute or just take the Eagles team total under. You know what I mean? Like I think one of those two, you're probably getting at the same price and not like have a situation where the Eagles do score 30 points like they did last time in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. One market we haven't gotten to yet is the anytime touchdown market, and that's where I kind of threw a couple dart throws. But I'll let you go first. Do you have anything?
I didn't get a touchdown bet in. I honestly didn't. I've been doing these picks over the last like 2-3 days, and it was just like I honestly don't know. I don't feel like I've been so bad at touchdowns this season. To be honest, I'm down 7 units on the TD market on the season, up 12 on the player prop market. So yeah, my volume went straight down in NFL anyway, and that's kind of when I stopped playing the dart throw touchdowns because I feel like you have to play them consistently and just win your plus money as much as you can. But
yeah, I was looking at my my let's see what I am for anytime touchdown. Yeah, I'm up a unit, literally 1 unit on anytime touchdown. So I took a couple dart throws. I took Kareem Hunt. This is probably the least dart throw of them. I took Kareem Hunt to score. If the Chiefs have a running play within the 5-yard line, it will go to Kareem Hunt. He gets if you look at his red zone carries, it's not amazing. Red zone rush share. 3 of 8 isn't terrible. 1 of 5 looks bad. He got their only run play at the 1-yard line. Like if they have the ball in the 1-yard line, it's going to go to Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And he's really good. He's really good in that short yardage space. Like he might, if you need 5 yards, he'll get you 3. If you need 1 yard, he'll get you 3. It's kind of what it's like with Kareem Hunt. Scored in 4 straight games. Pacheco's been back in all 4 of these games. Like they clearly tried it with Pacheco, and clearly he's just not healthy. Like he just never was able to get the mojo back after that broken leg. And if, like I said, if they have the ball at the 1, the Chiefs don't run a QB sneak because Pat Mahomes dislocated his kneecap one time running QB sneak. They'll never do it again. It's going to go to Kareem Hunt if they have a run play. So I think for plus 155 now, I got plus 140. So another negative CLV play, plus 155 now. I put 3/4 of a unit on this.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You guess you didn't even look at the market at all.
I looked at it. I considered mostly Hurts, to be honest, and I was like, how many bets on Hurts am I going to put down? And it went, obviously it's like minus 125 now. It's still not terrible. But yeah, I didn't even have like a way to look at it. I actually considered Nuke as well. It was plus 600 for the Hopkins tutty because of the number, basically. He's got like 3 red zone targets, I believe, in the playoffs, so it could be there too. But those mostly came in the first couple. So yeah, and without Hollywood, which shouldn't eat into it. But yeah, man, I honestly just was like up in the air with it. Didn't have anything for the touchdowns that made me feel good with the number plus the player.
Yeah, Nuke, I don't hate a plus 550.
Yeah,
not quite 650, which you got, or whatever you said you were looking at. I don't hate that. I mean, like his red zone target share, I mean, he's getting a couple target, like it's not amazing, but you never really know who it's going to be with the Chiefs. So I think, I mean, like anybody on the Chiefs is kind of not a bad sprinkle, honestly.
Yeah. For sure.
The other one I took was Goddard. So I took him 50 plus receiving yards. I also took him to score. He scored the first playoff game, and then he hasn't scored in the last 2. But he's gotten close. Like his red zone target share, technically only 1 of 3. I mean, Eagles didn't throw in the red zone against the Rams. You know what I mean? And then his touchdown against the Packers was outside of the
right.
What did Sandy say? I didn't see her next comment. Was just
I didn't see.
So anyways,
I just ended up. Too many people were looking at it, so I just ended up deleting it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because my next thought was like, if you're following a capper and he's losing you thousands and thousands of dollars, one, how bad are you at betting and how dumb is it to be that bad at betting and keep spending thousands of dollars on it? And 2, how dumb do you have to be to keep following somebody and lose thousands before you lose thousands of dollars? Like, then stop following that person.
And neither of us are down on any sport, so I don't. Yeah,
I'm very up. So but whatever.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm not. Yeah, I'm up. Anyways, so I mean, it's kind of similar logic. Like, yeah, the Chiefs' defense is very good. I think Goddard's going to have a big game. I think that could come in the form of a touchdown. Like no pass catcher on the Eagles. Red zone target numbers are going to wow you because they just throw the ball all the time or run the ball all the time. It's either Hurts or Saquon, but that's also why you're getting plus 350 on the Eagles passing leader or the Eagles playoff receiving leader to score a touchdown. So this one I put a half unit on.
Yeah, that was another look. That's a good look too. I agree.
And then the last touchdown one I had was I put a 1/4 unit on Hurts 2 touchdowns. He scored 2 touchdowns, 3 last week. He scored 2 last year against the Chiefs. He scored 3 in the Super Bowl. He can score from a QB sneak. He could score from a QB draw. He can score from a scramble. 2 of his, like last year against the Chiefs, 1 tush push, 1 non-tush push rushing touchdown. Last week against the Commanders, 2 tush push, 1 non-tush push. 2 years ago against the Chiefs, 2 tush push, 1 non-tush push. Like if the Eagles get close, if the ball's at the 1-yard line, that's a Hurts touchdown. If it's inside the red zone, he's at least going to get a couple rush attempts because they love doing the QB draw where they fake, like Saquon is faking like he's going to get the carry and then he rushes through the hole and blocks a linebacker. Like that worked against the Commanders. It works against the Chiefs the last 2 years. And he could just get 2 tush push touchdowns. It doesn't need to come from a QB draw. You know what I mean? It's like they're not going to mess around. When they get to the 1-yard line, they love calling the QB or the QB sneak because it works a lot. And it's almost guaranteed to not have a negative play. Like if you run the ball, you could get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. It's not going to happen on a tush push. And I get that like the Chiefs stopped it last week against the Bills. The Bills and the Eagles are 2 different teams running the tush push. It's not the same. So I'm not really scared off of that.
Yeah. No, I love it. So you just went straight for the 2 because you're like, I'm not dealing with this minus 120 stuff on the anytime. Yeah, it's
not worth it. Minus 115 isn't terrible. It was plus 100. That's where I would have taken it, but I wasn't able to get that in time.
Yeah, I like it. I might tail you with a little 1/4 unit as well.
Yeah,
that make your logic makes total sense.
And then I didn't actually bet this, but last year's Super Bowl, minutes before the game kicked off, I was messing around on FanDuel and I bet Jalen Hurts to have the first and last touchdown plus 6,000, and that hit. So if you really want to get crazy, take Hurts first touchdown and Hurts last touchdown. It was plus 6,000 last Super Bowl. I don't know what it is now.
That's sexy.
I
remember someone hit that, didn't they?
I hit that last Super Bowl.
Oh, you hit it. That's okay. That's
they didn't,
I thought you said someone else hit it that you named. I didn't hear you, but yeah.
Eagles lost. Eagles lost the game, but I did.
Yo, you parlay that with the Chiefs money line last Super Bowl if they would have let you, which they probably wouldn't have. That'd be
probably
insane.
probably not.
That'd be absolutely insane.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's everything. Like, I have a couple of bets that I liked that I didn't bet, like novelty props and stuff. But this is all my like researched normal bets. Did you have anything else that we haven't talked about yet?
Not that I want you to take seriously. But I have some Taylor Swift induced bets.
This is the time for nonsense. And I also think that for the last game of the year,
he said as he fixes his hat on his head, this is the time for nonsense.
Well, I'm always about nonsense, but
exactly.
I also think for the people, we should probably lock in just some like ridiculous SGP. That's like 4 legs of like just something for the people. Put $1 on it, $5, because we haven't like. I'm not really a parlay guy. I don't think you're really a parlay guy either.
Yeah, no.
But or we could be like daft and we could be up like 250 units betting parlays. So like he has made me consider becoming a parlay guy.
He leans in, yeah, for sure. And he does the straights and then he comes back to the parlay. So he is dropping 20-ish units, a night. So
yeah, he is. But I mean, he's hitting multiple a week. Normally, if you hit like 5 a season, you'll be up. He's hitting like 5 a month.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yep,
let's hear the
So I mean, this is legit, man. Like, what's gonna happen first? This now I got this on Bovada. I think you can still get it on some legit books. But what's gonna happen first? A touchdown, or they're gonna show Taylor Swift on screen? That was plus 110 for Taylor Swift. The touchdown was minus 150. Like, how I don't understand that. That's way too easy for me. Like, they're gonna show Taylor Swift in the first quarter. They're gonna show her in the first half of the first quarter. Are they not? Like, as soon as the Chiefs, basically the only way I think this loses is the Eagles score on the first drive.
Eagles get the ball first and score.
That's it. They got to get the ball first and score, because you're gonna see. And also, if the Chiefs score on the first play of their drive and it's not a Travis Kelsey touchdown, then that's not. But everything else, there's so many outs for it to be Taylor Swift, and the touchdown not even to come to like the second quarter. That I'm totally great with Taylor Swift plus 110. Hit that for a full unit. So
does the game play. Dumb question. I'm assuming this is after kickoff, right? Like, it doesn't count.
Right. Exactly. Okay. That was specified on Bovada. I think it was also available on DK on like their weird Super Bowl specials. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that one.
Got it.
Yeah.
This one isn't quite as crazy as yours, but I liked over 2.5 players to throw a pass. That's one of my favorites to play in the Super Bowl. It was plus 1 something at FanDuel. Cash last year, Juwan Jennings threw a touchdown. So you actually could have bet over 2.5 players or any non-QB to throw a touchdown would have cashed. Obviously, it cashed in the Eagles Super Bowl against the Patriots famously. Actually, 4 players threw a pass in that game. Nobody roots for this, but if one of the quarterbacks gets injured, you get over 2.5. If it's a fake punt, fake field goal, which we saw last week, the Commanders did that. Obviously, that's a cash.
That was fire.
Saquon throw? Does Kelsey throw? Like, I could see both teams pulling out something like that. So that's always my favorite one. I also don't hate over 2.5 players to throw a passing touchdown. Obviously, that one is way, way, way bigger odds, and it's way less likely to hit. But that one is also always one of my favorites.
Right. Because maybe we get some the Philly shuffle or something like that in there.
Yeah, exactly. You want Philly?
Little Statue of Liberty. So one's that's a little bit more serious, but it's back up. It's another one of these total game props that like was up in some states, not in others. But I think it's back up now on DraftKings. Yeah, it is. Total 4th down conversions plus 120 for over 2.5 in the game as a whole. I think there's going to be 2 from the Eagles, which you could also just get for plus 120 on FanDuel for the Eagles to get more than 1.5 4th down conversions. Like, I love it, man. Just here for the fade. What's with the trolls today, man? What do we do to deserve all these trolls? God damn. Who's Kyle like for the Super Bowl? What did he say this morning?
Actually, I saw I posted his video. I wasn't able to watch it yet. I've been just balls deep in Eagles content, so I haven't been able to watch anything not related.
Stephen Eagles got it.
You know,
Oh, that's so graphic. Which one do you like better? 4th down conversions, 2.5 for the game, or 1.5 for the Eagles?
I'd
Or
say
neither.
2.5 for the game. Eagles will get 2 tush pushes on 4th down. Probably the Chiefs will the Chiefs will definitely go for it. Like I think these teams are going to be aggressive for sure.
That's what I'm saying. And like Andy Reid, like come on back to when you weren't such a pussy like you've been in KC. Like I thought in Philly, like he was pretty aggressive coach, and I don't know, I just haven't seen quite as much from him in the last like 4 years. But I love this. I mean, the Eagles had 27 4th down conversions on the season in their 17 games. So whatever, what are we playing now? Yeah, 17. But there was a 73.3% conversion rate on the season for the amount that they did it, right? Like it was like 35, something like that. So yeah, I think they're going to go for it. They basically go for 2 a game. Like I'll take them to get 2, and then the Chefs just chip in 1. Basically, they have an implied probability. If you want to take the Chiefs over a half a 4th down conversion, it's like -180. So yeah,
then that makes sense to just take both, like you said, because that way you get because if they're both like the Eagles are at 2.5, Chiefs are at a half, so 3,
1.5 and a half. Yeah,
1.5. That's what I meant. 1.5 and a half, and then you're betting the over. Yeah. No, I like that. Another one that I didn't bet that I like is in the odds of like it was -135, now it's -145. Granted, it's only Caesars. Maybe other
this
books
is
have
great.
it.
Yeah, this is this. I have this as well. Oh, I actually have this for I have this for both teams as a good look.
Okay, yeah. So I like it better for the Chiefs.
Okay.
I mean,
sorry, you taking the over or the under? Apologies.
The over 2.5 sacks.
I'm on the other way with the Eagles under 2.5. But go ahead.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that I like. I like that way better than the Eagles over 2.5. Spags is super aggressive blitzing. The blitz, even though the Eagles have been better at it than they were last year, that's still like Hurts got sacked 7 times in each of the first 2 playoff games. And I'm pretty sure he got sacked 3 times last week against the Commanders. They'll get beat by blitz, and Hurts is not the type of guy that's going to get rid of it. He'll just eat the sack. But he's been like so coached to not take any risks that maybe sometimes he could get it away. He could either throw it out of bounds, but he's been so coached to not turn it over because their defense and running game is so good. It's just like, don't lose it for us. And I think they only got sacked twice. I think he only got sacked twice. This is one of the 3. This is one of the 3 we only need from Helms. I think he only technically got sacked twice last Super Bowl, but Eagles offense is way better. And Eagles got 2 banged up guards like that. Who knows who knows how they're going to play. So I think there's a lot of avenues for the sacks for the Chiefs over 2.5. I mean, you're obviously paying for it at -145, and I don't know why they don't have other books. Like I know both DraftKings and FanDuel are offering this same market. Let me see if I can pull up FanDuel real quick. But yeah, so you like the other way. You like under 2.5 for the Eagles.
For the Eagles, yeah, but the Chiefs, I'm not necessarily going under on their sacks either. Although I do think Hurts does a great job of throwing it away. Like I don't know, there's so many dumb quarterbacks that I can't fathom why they don't throw it away. But the reason I like it for the Eagles to go under is, I mean, it's Mahomes. He's taken 10 sacks in his last 7 playoff games. He averages 1 point sacks taken a game in his career. Like, I don't know how they're getting to 3 with a guy who, even if they do tackle him behind the line of scrimmage, I'm pretty sure it'll be a penalty. You can't breathe on him without getting a penalty. I wonder how many of those sacks have been called back for him as well, which I'm sure somebody has been petty enough to find that number. But yeah, we've also got Joe Thuney at left tackle now. For our guys, they moved him from the guard spot, and that's been a big reason why Mahomes stopped getting sacked after that Buffalo Bills game that you showed earlier. So that's why I like the Eagles to not get their sacks. It's -115 on DraftKings, but still love that.
-115, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't take sacks. He really just doesn't take sacks. The Eagles defense is good, but they're not. They don't get. I mean, they set the record for sacks 2 years ago, and they come close to that this year. So yeah, I think that's solid. Well, that's everything. I also like on like a kind of a Bobo book, but Novig, you can get -110 on either team to convert a 2-point conversion, which I think is crazy. That's like a not super available, but if people use Novig, I'm guessing non-issue. I think he's fine. The reporting has come out that he's fine, so I don't think that's an issue. But yeah, all right. Well, that's all everything. That's all the nonsense and nonsense, all non-nonsense plays I had today. Was there anything else that you had?
No, I didn't get in on the coin toss. No vig.
No, I didn't.
Or any of that
I didn't get in
stuff.
on the coin toss either.
No,
Gatorade bath.
Yeah. No, Gatorade bet I didn't do either. I never touched that one. It's all feels rigged to me. Not the coin toss, but everything else.
Any MVP? Nothing on the MVP?
No, I considered the Hertz MVP was plus 350. That's a pretty nice number.
For the starting quarterback of
yeah, plus 350 for the starting quarterback on a team that's like barely dogs. So yeah, I mean, this game is 50-50 to me, to be honest. Like I'm not really messing with people. Ask me who's going to win. I'm going to tell you Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid until otherwise specified. But Anthem under the Anthem. So it's a piano. It's what is it? John Baptiste, right? Like probably playing piano, maybe. I don't know, Dieter. I'm wondering if this is an over. I mean, it's gone. What do we got? 4 years in a row of the over. It's tough, man. These people getting their moment, but I'd love to hear the rationale behind the Anthem under from Dietz out there. Did you have anything on that one?
I didn't look at the Anthem. That one did not cross
like
my
140 or something like that. Which
yeah,
maybe it's a little less, but the average time recently has been like $140 or $150, something like that.
Yeah, these people get their time in the sun. They're gonna take touch time to shine. Take your time.
I'm drawing out that Brave. All I know is if it's me and I got the spotlight for that, I'm drawing the Brave out for a minute, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Baptiste doesn't fuck around. Yeah, dude. What do you mean? Oh, sorry. No, this is good too. But
yeah,
Kyle,
good stuff.
I know Kyle's got some crazy bets in there. Roughing the Pat. There's no way that's true.
I'm guessing this is either a joke or that like some like demented book is offering this.
Yeah, right. Book demented.
Yeah.
Estimated probability on the coin toss.
Yeah, 50-50.
I'm pretty sure it's 50-50. Is this not?
I mean, maybe they have. Well, if the Chiefs
101?
call, they probably have a weighted coin.
That's fair.
In favor of the Chiefs, whatever the Chiefs want.
Right.
So
yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, it's Bovada, which I guess is like, I mean, you can get money in and out of Bovada. So
yeah, I've never had a problem with Bovada, to be honest. I don't know. I thought they were trying to make it into legitimate book status at some point, but who knows at this point. Either way, I've never had a problem with them. I just don't like saying like, hey, go use this book that like if they decided to fold tomorrow, you're out however much money you have in your account.
Yeah.
Don't feel like doing that. So
yeah, I've never used any of the offshore stuff.
Yeah.
All right. It's parlay time. Let's get like four legs of juicy odds. And just we'll each give 2 plays. Give me your first one.
All right. I'm going to take the Hertz rush attempts. Let's take the 9.5 though, so that we can get this juicy.
You unfortunately can't SGP rush attempts on.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, FanDuel, you bastard. All right, that's fine.
Know. Maybe you can on DraftKings. I disavow DraftKings because they limit me to like $1.55. They're just a complete loser sports book. They're like the second biggest sports book. Like they have like the worst limits. But if you can do that on DraftKings for the people, I will allow it.
Yeah, if you can on DraftKings. If not, then I mean, of my 2 favorite non-dart throws, I'm really, really liking Samaje Perine. The more I look at it, the over 7.5 receiving yards.
You can actually SGP it on DraftKings. So
you can.
All right. So your first leg is Hertz 10+ rushing attempts.
Yeah, let's do that. Was that plus 110 or something?
106 on DraftKings.
Okay, that's fine.
While we're at it, let's go Hertz 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Because if we're gonna, I mean, it's correlated. Obviously, they're gonna nuke the odds a little bit, but
yeah,
all right,
that's fine.
All right, what's your next one?
In there. And then give me Perine over 7.5
receiving
yards.
Perine, where the fook is that? Samaje Perine receiving yards. So we can only.
What number are they giving us?
Give me 1 second. I'm doing this on my phone. It's just great, I'm sure, for people to listen to.
Yeah.
Where the heck did it go?
Stare at this giant hat, though.
That's true. Yeah, that's what people really want. It's just the hat.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. My last one. Let's go with. So we'll go with Saquon rushing.
Yeah,
we're gonna go. Cool. Let's go with. We'll go 120 plus. All right. Let's see how much DraftKings lets me bet on this bad boy. $3.99. Look at that.
They only get 99 cents down on what's the odds?
$3.99.
Nice.
It's plus 2,500, which isn't bad, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put it in the chat and then I'll post it on Twitter so people can see what the actual bet is. It's SGP on DK. You're gonna hear me type like a mad scientist.
Dude, yeah. Kyle, player coach there's a no for -115. Yeah, I'll take. Is it -115 on both sides? Probably too. I think that's nice right there. Player coach will cry. No. Who would be the cry? I mean, they've all been there now. Nick Sirianni's a robot, so he's not crying.
He cried last time.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was leaking fluid, dude.
Hey,
he was just
the books count it.
He's not a real person. Yeah, he just no NBA today because Lord have mercy, who is going to play in these games? One starts in an hour. I'm going to be drunk in 2 hours. Like, I don't have to on the NBA. What are we talking about?
I bet the NBA today. I took 3 plays.
You're down to 2.
I took you took 2?
No, you're down to 2 because of look at the comment.
Oh wait,
that I have up on screen. Mello sitting.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 plays. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I saw your 3 on Twitter.
I have Duran double and I have Damian Lillard double. The Damian Lillard thing was just like you could get +130 for him to get to 10 assists, or you could get +160 for him to get a double.
Yeah, I love when they do that.
Yeah, way better price. Cool.
Yeah. All right, and then the only other thing is I do think Kendrick is going to play more than 1.5 diss tracks because if he just comes, the beat even comes on, and he doesn't have to. He can't sing like any of the songs because they're just all like Drake is a pedophile and other stuff like that. So you can't really sing that, but you could get the beat out there. So I like him to play at least 2 diss tracks, and then I also think the first word out of Kendrick's mouth, you can bet on that.
Okay.
I forget what the market was, but Drake was like +6,000 as the first word out of his mouth. Like, that's not gonna be it. Yo was like -115. So I don't know, but I thought that was a hilarious one. I'm probably gonna stay away from it.
Some good markets.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with God for +300.
Yeah.
God, glory to God. That's what all these guys say after they do anything.
It's because that's what Pat says. It's what Pat Mahomes says every time. It's like,
and that's what
I give the glory to God.
That's what Kermit says.
Yeah, that's what Kermit, Ray Romano, and Kermit. Yeah, same dude.
Dope. All right. Anything else? Anything left in the chamber for this game?
Nah, man. Just appreciate everybody. 10. I think it's like 10 games on the NBA slate tomorrow. Fuck you, NBA, for that.
I know.
Like we're all hanging out tonight, but I'll have some stuff up, and then maybe we'll get the live going this week if you got some time. Now that we got football done.
I'm going to be out this week and next week. I'm going to Hawaii.
So, shit! Is this the honeymoon part 2?
Delayed honeymoon, yeah.
Nice.
So very Kyle's already giving me shit for taking time off. I already gave the NBA. What was you talking about? You crazy. He's already giving me shit. So I will not be here this week or next week, which lines up perfectly post Super Bowl, and the All-Star break is I think this week, right?
Yeah, it's the week after this one. Yeah, weekend. So
there we go. Yeah, so 7 of the days.
What up?
Dope. All right, well, good stuff. It was a good season. It was a fun season. Yeah. Let's hope we end it with some green today, both in terms of our bank accounts and in terms of the Eagles winning as the green team.
For sure.
Dope. Well, if you're watching on my channel, make sure to go follow Josh's. If you're watching from his, make sure to go follow mine. And we won't catch you this week or next week, but we'll probably be back doing NBA streams later this season for sure.
Yes, sir.
Dope. All right. See you guys.
All right, y'all.